Welcome to this tutorial. Today, we're going to talk about the past perfect tense. Let's get started. Now, we use the past perfect to show clearly that one past event happened before another past event. Note that we use the past perfect in the earlier event. Have a look at the example over here. When I arrived at the party, Tom wasn't there. He had gone home. Note that the sentence he had gone home is in the past perfect tense, and it's used to talk about what happened before I arrived at the party. Now, to form the past perfect, we use had plus verb ed, or just the verb. In the negative, hadn't plus verb ed, or just the verb. Have a look at the examples over here. Question form. Had Kate gone to bed when you arrived home? Positive sentence? Yes, she had. She had gone to bed when I arrived home. She'd gone to bed. Negative sentence. No, she hadn't. She hadn't gone to bed when I arrived home. Note that the past perfect I had done is the past of the present perfect I have done. Have a look at the differences below. Present. I'm not hungry. I've just had breakfast. Your room is dirty. You haven't cleaned it for months. Past. I wasn't hungry. I just had breakfast. Your room was dirty. You hadn't cleaned it for months. Now we can use the past perfect with phrases such as to think, know, be sure, realize, remember, suspect, understand, etc. Have a look at the examples below. She was sure she hadn't locked the door. When I got home, I realized I'd left my computer at Starbucks. Now, many speakers use the past perfect in case of before or after to show a strong connection between the two events. Have a look at the following sentences. Pam left her house before her parents arrived. Now, this sentence is in the past simple. And in this sentence, Pam had left her house before her parents arrived. Now this is the past simple plus past perfect. Now let's review and practice a bit. Remember that we use the auxiliary verb had and the past participle to make sentences in the past perfect. Now read the sentence below and provide the past perfect form of the words in the bracket. Frank spilled milk right after I to clean the kitchen. Frank spilled milk right after I had cleaned the kitchen. Remember that to form questions by inverting the subject and had, and to form negatives with not. Now read the following sentences and provide the past perfect form of the words in the bracket. And make sure to use contracted forms. Anything to happen before I came? Yes, Julie was here. She to leave you a note right before you came. Had anything happened before I came? Yes, Julie was here. She'd left you a note right before you came. Also remember that the past perfect I had done is the past of the present perfect I have done. Now read the sentence below and provide the present perfect form of the words in the bracket. Your car is a mess. You not to clean it for a month. Your car is a mess. You haven't cleaned it for a month. And now, provide the past perfect of the words in the bracket. Your car was a mess. You not to clean it for a month. Your car was a mess. You hadn't cleaned it for a month. Also remember that the past perfect is often used with verbs of thinking, like to think, know, be sure, etc. Now read the sentence below and provide the past perfect form of the words in the bracket. And then I to understand that she to lose my trust completely. And then I understood that she'd lost my trust completely. Remember, the many speakers use the past perfect to show a strong connection between the two events. Now provide the past perfect form of the sentence below. They called the cops right after they saw the robbery. They called the cops right after they'd seen the robbery. Here is a short story using the past perfect tense. Listen as I read so you can see how they are used in real-life conversation. After I'm done, make sure you understand all the grammar and read aloud yourself so that you can work on your own fluency and pronunciation. Why didn't Anne take Spanish classes last semester? Because she'd taken them at the beginning of her studies. Had she completed the course successfully? Yes, she had. She'd passed it with a perfect score. She hadn't done a single mistake. Wait, I heard that she didn't pass the exam. I don't know what you're talking about. The teachers had never been so happy to have a student like her. Maybe that's not Anne I'm talking about. I've forgotten the name of the girl. And now, time for you to practice on your own. Read the following sentences and fill in the blanks using before or after. A. It was 11 o'clock when Pete left for his night shift. You came home at midnight. Pete had gone. You came back. B. It was 8 a.m. when the lesson started. You came to school 20 minutes earlier. B. It was 8 a.m. when the lesson started. You came to school 20 minutes earlier. Lessons had started. You came to school. C. It was a busy afternoon for you, but in the evening you had a nice bath. You had a nice bath. You had a busy afternoon. And now, write the correct sentence. A. They didn't want to eat my cake. They just to finish their dinner. B. My mom wasn't at home when I came back from school. She just to go out. C. I was very happy to see Nate. I not to see him for 3 years. D. We arrived late. The movie already to begin. And now, answer the following questions. A. What had you done right before college graduation? B. What had you done right after college graduation? C. Had you cleaned your apartment before you went on a summer vacation? And now, let's check your answers. It was 11 o'clock when Pete left for his night shift. You came home at midnight. Pete had gone before you came back. It was 8 a.m. when the lesson started. You came to school 20 minutes earlier. Lessons had started after you came to school. It was a busy afternoon for you, but in the evening you had a nice bath. You had a nice bath after you had a busy afternoon. They didn't want to eat my cake. They just finished their dinner. My mom wasn't at home when I came back from school. She just went out. I was very happy to see Nate. I hadn't seen him for 3 years. We arrived late. The movie had already begun. Sample answers. I'd started studying for my exams right before college graduation. I'd had a huge party right after college graduation. Yes, I'd cleaned my apartment before I went on a summer vacation. Thank you for watching this tutorial.